Hello and a really warm welcome to this full KDP course. Now, this course I used to sell. I have been selling it for several years now, very successfully, but now has come the time that I think it should go on YouTube all in one go, fully for free. So here it is. I hope you enjoy it. I recommend you watch it all the way through, and then you can use the chapters to find the bits that are totally relevant to you. So the first thing I want to draw your attention to is that KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, have recently updated their page. So we used to have a cartoon of a little stick man. Now it looks like this. This is the new page. No doubt they will update it again before long. So I'm now going to go off and go to Younger Joe so you can enjoy the whole course. What is print on demand? Well, with print on demand, POD or POD, you create the design, choose which items to put it on, and then put it on sale. When a customer buys your product, you don't have to physically make it. The order goes directly to the manufacturer or printer and is shipped from there to the customer. Now, this frees up your time to create more designs and market them, and also saves you having to hold stock, run and maintain machinery, and employ staff. Furthermore, the order is fulfilled in or close to the customer's own country, saving air miles, expense, and time. So how does this allow us to self-publish printed and electronic books and sell them? Well, self-publishing via Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, KDP, and Lulu is a form of POD. You create your book, you upload it to the KDP or Lulu site, and then when, and not until, a book is sold, KDP or Lulu print it and ship it. You then earn royalties on your sales. Now, you can also purchase your own books and give them out as prizes or gifts. The purpose of this video series is to enable you to create and then self-publish low-content books such as notebooks, journals, planners, colouring books, and also write and sell ebooks to upload onto Amazon KDP. Now, we're going to concentrate on paperback books as opposed to hardcover books, though the principles are the same. In this session, we are going to open your account. So log into your existing Amazon account if you've got one, otherwise sign up. Amazon want you to only have the one account, so it's much preferred to actually do it this way. Pop in your existing password. And here are the terms and conditions. Do have a flick through them if you want to have a good read. And then you do have account information to set up, and you will need to set that up before you can publish your book. Go into this area here, the Your Account area at the top. And it may well ask you for more security, in which case just follow the instructions to do that. Okay, so here we are. Now we can start filling out the boxes. Obviously your legal name, address, and further details such as your date of birth and phone number. I'm going to obscure these, obviously, as they contain personal information. And then when you've completed those boxes, click Save and Continue. It takes you to the next page, which is account details, getting paid. So decide whether you are an individual or a corporation. Most of you will be individuals. If that account holder isn't in your name, edit your identity and change that part. Otherwise, move on to the Getting Paid section. You want to say which country your bank is in and whether it's a checking or savings account. Most of them will be checking. And IBAN number. Your IBAN number is your international bank account number, and you can find this on most banking apps. Your BIC code is also known as your SWIFT BIC code. And again, you should be able to find this in the account information on a banking app. If it's not on your banking app, just give your bank a call. Again, in this section, we want to choose individual or corporation for business type. Pop in your date of birth using the little calendar icon there and your account holder name. If the address is the same as the previous one, Select existing address, otherwise enter a new one, and then click Add. And next we will do the tax information. It will just ask you to save at the bottom, and then we can go on to do the tax questionnaire in the tax information section. So click that box. Again, pick whether individual or business. Are you a US citizen, US permanent resident, green card holder, or other US resident alien? So for those of us in the UK, the answer here is no. Obviously, complete it as relevant to yourself. Are you acting as an intermediary agent? And by filling out all of these boxes here, it will populate a form, which you will then go on to electronically sign. And this gives you a form to show that you are not a US taxpayer. Your taxpayer identification number you should find on either your P60, or if you are self-employed, it is your UTR, your unique tax reference number that you use to do your tax return. Any concerns at all, call the tax office and ask them to provide it. If you don't have a unique taxpayer reference number, you can use your national insurance number. So scroll down a little and hit the yellow button at the bottom. And here is a self-generated form. It's called a W8BEN form. Have a glance through, make sure everything's correct. Obviously, there's going to be lots of empty boxes here, but don't worry about that. Tick the box to certify that you've got the capacity to sign, and then just type your full name. Click the yellow button to submit, and you can exit the interview. I would print that form off and keep it with your tax information too. Click to save, and you are ready to go. In this module, I'm going to show you how to create the interior pages of your print books. I'm starting with notebooks because they are the most straightforward, they're the simplest. And we can build upon that foundation later in this training. You can either download ready-made interiors, or you can create your own using design software such as Canva. If you're looking to download ready-made interiors, one site that provides them is BookBolt. Now, BookBolt offer a 3-day free trial. Otherwise, it's $9.99 at the time of recording this. That's in dollars. And they do offer a higher grade one, which is $19.99. In here, you can get things like notebook interiors, whether it's the lines or logbook interiors, a variety of different things. The higher rate of subscription does give you puzzle page interiors, and puzzle books do sell really well on KDP. Now, I'll show you briefly, because there's so much in here and there's lots of tutorials, as you can see. I will show you briefly how to create a notebook in BookBolt. Click on Create, go to BookBolt Studio, New Project, or New Project will come up automatically if you haven't got any projects yet, and choose your type. I'm going to do a paperback interior. I'm going to call it Journal Lines, 150 pages, 6 by 9, because this is going to just be an interior that I'm going to use for lots of different books. So I'm not going to call it a dog book or a cat book or anything like that, because it's just going to be the inside. I'm not going to put anything different or interesting in these pages apart from lines. So the trim size, obviously I can pick, but it's already on 6 by 9. Paper and type. Now these line up with what KDP offer. So I'm going to do black and white interior with white paper, but obviously you could have cream and things like that. I'm going to leave it on bleed, and I'm going to have this at 150 pages, which is what I've set up here. You can put as many as I want. Minimum of 24 for KDP. And create project. So now it's created all of these pages, but all of these pages are just blank, and KDP won't let you upload a book of just plain pages. They won't let you do it. So we need to have something on there, and I want this to be a notebook, so I am going to put the lines on. I go on this one. That gives me lots of interior templates. Obviously, any that are here that say Get Pro on them, these are the ones that I would get if I paid that $19.99. Oh, these are fantastic. I love the word searches. Could quite happily sit and play with these all day. So I am just going to go for a ruled journal. I fancy this one. I like the idea of this short line here. But if I wanted just full lines, I could go on this one. If I wanted a margin, I could go on this one. I don't want a margin for this one because it's only a 6x9 book and the margin will take up quite a lot of space in a book that small. So I'm going to go on this one. And then it gives me the options of narrow, college or wide. I'm going to go with the middle one, college. And it is generating all of these pages. So if I wanted to put something like boo on page 28, I could. They don't all have to be the same, but I'm going to select them all and then continue. Let's have a look. And there we are. That's what my page looks like. Now I'm going to submit it, and it's just going to create the template for me. So there we are. Now I've got an interior for a book. And what do? Just download it here. I'm going to download it, and I'm going to download it CMYK printed books. I could just download the page, or I could download it for an ebook, in which case I'd do it in RGB. So there we are. And that is it. Now, obviously, there are lots of other interiors on there in BookBolt, and BookBolt does a lot more too. You can use it for your research as well. But if you decide that you don't want to keep it beyond the 3-day free trial, please do remember to cancel, otherwise they will start charging you the monthly fee. So now let's create your own notebook interiors. Go to Canva or whatever your favourite design software is. In Canva, say, in the top right, click to create a design and then click custom size and type in the size of the book that you're hoping to create. Remember to change the units to inches. Now we're going to build one page of the notebook and then duplicate it. In Elements, choose a line and then add it to your page. Click on the ends of the line to stretch it right across the page. If you'd prefer a grey line to a black one, simply change the colour of it. Now make sure your line is perfectly horizontal across the page. Next, click the duplicate icon and repeat to fill the page, then space them out randomly down it. To evenly space out your lines, click and drag to select all of the lines, and then click on Position and Tidy Up. Once you've got one page completed, on the top right of the page, you're going to see Duplicate Page, and duplicate it as many times as you need to give you your chosen number of interior pages. Make sure you remember how many interior pages you have picked, as you will need to know for the cover. If you want to add in any extra graphics or features on any of the pages, do so now. Then save it by clicking Share, Download and selecting PDF Print. Then I recommend not choosing Bleed, but that's totally up to you. If your version of Canva allows you to choose CMYK printing instead of RGB, then select the CMYK as it's better for physical print. Click Download. So now you can build on your notebook creating skills to come up with all kinds of books, including journals, planners, and logbooks. Again, you have the opportunity to use pre-made interiors, or you can do your own completely from scratch. Try sites such as Creative Fabrica or Design Bundles, either for downloadable files or for inspiration or individual design elements. Once again, BookBolt has got some too. If you're creating your own and want to have several pages that repeat, for example in a planner, simply, but very carefully, use the duplicate function in Canva to repeat the same pages in the same order. It is a bit fiddly, but you're going to get into a pattern with it quite quickly. But do go back and check it over. You can use either monochrome or full colour in your interiors, but do bear in mind that a book with coloured pages will cost more to print. So your end price to your customers will need to be higher when you come to list it. Save as PDF print and download. So colouring books are a little more involved and therefore take more patience. The simplest way, which means you are more likely to create, upload and list more of them, which then in turn means that increases your chances of making sales, is to use intricate backgrounds that can then be coloured in and then add brief slogans that go over the top. If you're making a colouring book for children, young children, do not do the background image, as it's best to keep things simple. On graphics websites such as Creative Fabrica, etc., you're going to find plenty of monochrome patterns such as mandalas. Make sure you choose ones that lend themselves to being coloured in, so have distinct areas that are going to be blank. Also check their licenses and make sure they are of good enough quality to give a crisp image. Using Canva or alternative, enter your book dimensions as custom size in inches. Make sure you remember to make each page unique, and I recommend only putting images on every other page so that if your customers use felt tip pens, they do not end up ruining their artwork on the other side of the page. Now, once you've got your background image added, click the Add Text box, choose Add a Heading and type in your wording. On the top bar, click the drop-down menu to choose a font. Go for a bold one. I love to use Andala Script for my colouring books as it has a shadow version to extrude. If you're using a font like this, it makes it really quick to add wording. So with the font set as, for example, Andala Script, type in your choice of words, then duplicate them and change the font to Andala Extrude. Move this new one out of the way and then change the original one, the script one, to white. You can then pull it over the top of the extrude version to create lovely big hollow spaces that are just perfect for colouring in. Alternatively, type your wording and choose a bold font. Then click in Effects. Here you can click on Hollow and change the thickness of the lines, but notice that the background pattern will show underneath if you have one. If you like this effect, or there isn't a background because you're doing the simpler version for children, that's fine. But we can do something different to alleviate this. Instead of selecting Hollow, choose Splice. Where it says Colour, change it to white. Now you're going to notice it's offset, so we need to change that by moving the offset slider to the left. Click the thickness to if you prefer. Change direction to 0 if there's still any traces of white outside the bordering edges. One more thing to consider. Bear in mind that sometimes people will want to remove their artwork to display them. Maybe you should move the image very slightly over to the right side, to the right of the page, so they can cut it out without ruining their colouring, as part of it's going to be swallowed up by the book's spine. Extra tip. When designing covers for colouring books, it's always a good idea to put small thumbnail images of a few of the interior pages on the back cover, so that people can see what's inside. Now, after about a week, Amazon should show a few of the interior pages with their Look Inside feature, but sometimes it takes longer for that to kick in. Also, by adding them to the back of the cover ourselves, we get to choose which ones are displayed. Make things easier for yourself later by saving your favourite pages as individual PNG or JPEG files ready to add to your cover design. Now, let's create a cover for your print book. Ebook covers are a different shape, so we're going to discuss these in the ebook module. So now we have our interior prepared. We need to design a cover. You can do this directly in KDP, but what we're going to do instead is have one ready to go so that when we're uploading, we can just select the file from our downloads. Now this means we'll have stored images that we can then repurpose. If you're already designing for print on demand, you will already have some designs that would be perfect for using for notebooks, for example. It's really important that our book cover design is slightly bigger than the cover itself and also takes into account the spine of the book, so there is no danger that either the image won't fit the cover or the cover won't fit the book. To do this, we're going to need to add an extra 0.125 inches onto the width and 0.25 onto the height on the custom sizes that we type into our design software. Now, I use a template generator tool from bookowl.com. You can also find the same template in Amazon KDP itself. Choose the KDP cover template generator and type your book's width, height, and page count. Then the paper, usually white, scroll down to the bottom and add your email address, as it's going to be sent to your inbox. Then click Email Template. This is a free tool, but they do ask you to make a donation. Whether you do or not is entirely up to you. Now, when you have received your email, open the attachment to look at the sizes. Use the given sizes to type into Canva as your custom size. Now, this will include those extra measurements mentioned earlier. Once you've opened a canvas in Canva to work on, click Uploads and Upload Files, and then choose the PNG version of the template from bookowl.com. Click on it when it has loaded into Canva so that it moves over to your canvas. Click on the corners to stretch it to fit. Then the template has an orange area around all the edges. This area must not contain any important words or images, as it may be cut off or folded. Background images should, however, cover the entire area, including those orange bits. Add elements and design your cover. The left-hand side of the cover will be the back and the right will be the front. Imagine it wrapped around the book. If you want to put something on the spine, turn the writing sideways and again make sure it fits without touching those orange areas at all. When you finish designing and positioning your images and words, click Position to take your design to the back behind the Bookout template. You want to delete the template now that you have finished. Save your cover as a PDF print. Do not click on crop marks and bleed. Choose CMYK if you have it as an option and download it. Tip: when we come to upload the book onto Amazon, you're going to find that the title must match what is written on the front cover. Design with this in mind. Also, avoid using textured effects. Amazon KDP don't like you to put anything misleading in your listings. So even if something looks furry, for example, it will not be a good idea to state that in the description when you come to upload it. It's time for the magic to happen. Go back into your new Amazon KDP account. Now that we have our interior and cover ready, we can go ahead and upload it. But before we begin, have you researched your keywords so that your book will have the best possible chance of getting found in the huge Amazon marketplace? You can stop your upload partway through and save it as a draft at any point if necessary, then come back to it later. There are 3 pages to fill in when uploading on KDP, and we're going to work our way through them. Click Create, then select Create Paperback. You'll see that you could also select hardcover, which is significantly more expensive for your customers to buy. And the hardcover function is still in its beta phase. But if you're planning a hardcover book, make sure you note the dimensions and use the correct cover template from Bookowl, as these are different to the paperback ones. Language: English or select alternative as required. Book title: this must match what is written on the front cover that you have designed. Subtitle: you don't have to have one. Series: if you're doing a series, otherwise leave this blank. Edition: only fill this in if you're uploading a new edition of an already published book. Author: now it's fine to only use the first name and surname boxes. Use a pen name or your own name. I often add the particular niche here as it's a searchable term. For example, Patty's Pups or Coffee Lover. Contributors: leave blank unless your book is a collaboration. Description: make this as enticing as you can. Do not use swear words and space it out nicely. Make sure your spellings and punctuation are all correct, as your potential customers could use this to decide whether to purchase or not. Publishing rights: click the top one because you own the copyright as it is your work. Keywords: now you have 7 boxes, but can put sentences and long tail keywords in these sections. Try not to repeat the same keywords again and again. The first 2 boxes should be about the book's specifications, such as notebook, lined notebook, jotter. Then get more descriptive for the other 5 boxes. Avoid using words that imply texture or any trade names or anything indecent. Categories: you can choose 2 categories. Opt for the ones most suitable for your niche and tick the box to say it's a low content book. Adult content, yes or no, and then click save and continue. Now, because we've ticked that it's a low content book, it's not going to let us have an ISBN number. So we can publish without ISBN. Publication date, we can just leave that. And then here we choose our print options, and we want, for this one, black and white interior with white paper. This is just a notebook. I don't want coloured paper or anything. Select a different size. I'm going to choose, let me see, this one. And I don't want any bleed, and matte or glossy. Now, I would choose glossy, for example, if I was doing a children's book because of sticky fingers. But really, generally, the matte is much nicer and it's like a velvety feel. Next, I upload my paperback manuscript. And I shall do that now. So it's just uploaded my manuscript. And the next thing that I do is click on book cover. Now, I don't want to use the launch cover creator because I have already created mine in Canva. So I'm going to click this one to upload a cover I already have. And this is uploading, and it takes a little while sometimes. And as soon as it has uploaded, it wants me to have a look at the launch previewer. So I will do that now. And this one takes a while to work through. If it's particularly busy at the time, it takes a really long time. But eventually it will come up with almost a mock-up of what your book is going to look like. And then you can look through it and make sure everything's okay before you approve it and go ahead. And here we are. And then it does its quality check. Now on the left hand side, if there's any issues at all, it's going to come up down here. It'll often be in red, and then we can go through it and have a look. You arrow through and make sure everything's where you want it to be. This one's just a notebook, so it's quite simple. but also I want to check my front and back cover and make sure there's no white gaps around the edges or anything like that. The barcode isn't obscuring anything at all, anything really important. And now we can go ahead. So I'm happy with it, so I click approve. And then it will take me onwards. So now I've got this far. I can go save and continue and go to the next stage. And the next stage is pricing. Now in pricing, I can select the territories. Now really, I can pick individual territories, but I may as well sell it as many places as possible. Primary marketplace, generally I would always say make America the primary marketplace, but if it's a book for particularly my customers or something like that, I would put the UK. And if I want the price to always be a logical, sensible price for the UK, and that's my priority, if I make the primary marketplace the UK, I find that I can put the price I want in, and it will always stay that price, $5.99 for the UK. And then as currencies fluctuate, it changes lower down for the other parts of the world. So this is another good reason to pick the UK. Now, expanded distribution would be if I wanted it to go into bookshops or anything like that, but Amazon won't put low content books into bookshops. So that's not an issue. You also get a lower rate of royalty. So once you're happy with the price you've picked, you save it, and it says it can take up to 72 hours. It often takes longer. So if you find it's 72 hours and you still haven't had your book published, don't worry. So I'm going to click to publish my paperback. And once it's saved, that's it. Now, what it will do, it will go into review. Then the next stage is processing, and the next stage is live. And once it's live, there's a week before it's listed on Amazon. But what you can do is you can, once it's published, go on to this arrow here, and then you will be able to see it, and you'll be able to copy the URL and paste it in social media and things like that to advertise it amongst the people you know. So this is in review, and now I've just got to wait for it to go live. Now, sometimes, unfortunately, you do get them come back. Amazon will come back to you to say that there's a problem, there's something that's not right. Usually it's because the cover doesn't fit properly, or something is outside the lines, the guidelines, things like that. Occasionally, you've done something really serious and that can't just be rectified and put right and then resubmitted. And they will, in those cases, block your book. You don't want this to happen. And if you find that you've had too many books blocked, they will remove your account. And that is something you really want to avoid doing. On the whole, though, you will find that occasionally you'll get something come back to say that something hasn't been formatted properly, or it's not in the right place. And you simply go into your design software, change it, resubmit it, and then it will be okay. So it's not usually a problem, but if you do get something blocked, don't try to resubmit that one. Mockups. So introduction to mockups. You're going to see that Amazon or Lulu listings will show your print book or ebook cover and all the text as you've added them during the upload process. You're not going to be able to add further images to, for example, your Amazon KDP listing. But if you are going to showcase your merchandise on social media, in your own newsletters or run ads, you can create more appealing mock-ups for your own use. You can purchase your own print books as author copies or buy them from Amazon.com or .co.uk, etc. Purchasing your own book in the same way as a potential customer is going to give you valuable experience of the customer journey. Not only will you follow the same product selection and checkout procedure, but also you're going to find out for yourself delivery times and packaging, etc. With Lulu, you will indeed need to order a copy of your book before it will be able to be sold via their global distribution. The other benefit of purchasing your own book is that you're going to be able to photograph it for promotional purposes. There is, however, an alternative to buying every book you self-publish, and that is using mockups to create lifestyle photos and videos. I recommend using Placeit, www.placeit.net, for this, as they have a huge range of still images and videos, and it's extremely user-friendly. I do have an affiliate link that, of course, I will share with you. Now, there is a free option, but as usual, it's very limited, or you can opt to pay per mockup. If you're only going to need a few mockups, I would suggest either signing up for a short period and creating as many mockups as you're going to need, then stopping your subscription, or just keeping going. If you're planning to continue adding designs, the monthly cost of Placeit is $14.95, or you can reduce that by 50% by paying $89.69 annually. The prices are correct at the time of recording this, of course. Now, by using their mockup generator, you can choose highly relevant images, such as using a picture of a woman doing yoga or a man with a dog, for example. It really helps potential customers to see how buying your book will benefit them. Mockup photos. So how to add an image using Placeit. In placeit.net, type the blank product you're looking for, in this case, book, in the search bar, or hover over the menus. On the left-hand side, you'll see that you can select a variety of filters, including sex, age, and different scenarios. Browse the photos of the models. You'll be able to see the editable areas on the books. Pay close attention to the appearance of the mock-up books. Is it a paperback or a hardback? Does it have the same spine as your book? Is it rectangular or is it square? Is it a similar size to your book? Tip: if you scroll through the pages to the higher numbers, you will be offered options that most people don't bother looking for. This will help you to find mockups that are not used as frequently by other sellers. If you find a model who particularly fits your requirements, scroll down to see if there are any other photos or videos they feature in. Once you have decided upon a mockup photo, click on it to select it. Then click on the blue box on the left to add image or insert design. Simply upload your cover image. Use the crop function to resize and position your image or text-based design. Now, for print books, you will, of course, have the full width of the cover from left, back of book, to right, front. Make sure you position your cover image so that it matches the book when it is physically printed. Keep checking it to make sure it looks as close to your book as possible. You want to give your audience a true representation of how the book they will receive will look. On many of the mock-ups, you can also change background colours or other items in the image. This is a great way to bring in your own brand colours. You can often also add text or your logo as an extra overlay. When you're happy with your mock-up, click on download. then it will load, and then you'll need to click it again. Mock-up videos. Now you can use the same principles as discussed in lesson 2 to create mock-up videos. The easiest way to find them is type book mock-up video in the search bar. Again, you can use filters to find specific genders, ethnicity, age, hobbies, etc. Videos take a little longer to load, so don't worry if it seems slow. Once you have your video, you can click on the plus at the bottom to add further slides. This is a really good way to link together perhaps a series of books. You can add music to your video too. Browse the various tracks and then click select when you find one that suits the video or book subject. Download as before. I usually make a version of my mock-up videos without music and then another one with. This gives you flexibility when sharing on social media, your website, etc., and using them in ads. Alternatives to place it include Lock and Page, www.lockandpage.com, and Etsy. Just do an Etsy search for mockups. You can see your sales and pages read at any time in your Amazon KDP account in the report section. KDP royalties are paid 60 days in arrears. You will receive a separate payment from each country in which your book has sold.